Hello everyone, welcome to our Friday mobility class. Today we will work on our feet and ankle mobility. Yay! So we will need a clear open floor space, enough room to move around. We'll also need the help of a few elements today. A ball. So I have a doggy ball, but a tennis or lacrosse ball works as well. And we'll also need a yoga block or some sort of block that's heavy and sturdy. It can also be a big heavy book, just as long as it's sturdy enough that you're not going to damage it, unless you don't care about damaging it. Maybe it's big heavy textbook that you're really frustrated with and we're going to step on it real hard. Otherwise, you can just use a staircase at home or any raised surface close to the floor. So about like a step high. How much is that? How much is this in inches? Like 4. Be slightly uncomfortable because our feet might be a little bit sensitive. So just be mindful of that and take it easy. So if you're experiencing pain or discomfort, just back off a little bit. That is an alarm sign that our body is giving us that we've gone too far. We don't want to go to that point of pain or discomfort. We just want to be on the edge of challenge. So we want to feel like we're pushing that edge just a little bit, but we're not going beyond our current capacity. And for obvious reasons, and if it's not so obvious to you, foot and ankle mobility is incredibly important for our well-being and for the health of our entire system, because the feet are the foundation of our body. It is the first thing that is in contact with the earth. So if our feet and ankles don't have the capacity to support the rest of the structure is going to be compromised. When we have limited flexibility and mobility in our feet and ankles, we can suffer from a whole other range of problems that will come with time in our knees, in our hips, in our spine, and even all the way up to our neck. So it's very important that we pay attention to our feet and ankles and work on keeping them mobile. Now, we're going to share here some exercises to challenge that mobility, but on a day-to-day regular basis, the best thing you can do to maintain the health of your feet and ankles is, number 1, walk barefoot. Walk barefoot on different terrain. So not just at home on a very safe flat floor, but also walk barefoot outside on the grass, on the sand, on gravel, on forest floors, on different substrates. Why? Because it will train our feet and it will stimulate the sensory capacity of our feet to adapt to those different terrains. So if you're a young person, this might come in a little bit easier. If you are a more mature person, this might be very challenging. So just, as I said, take it easy, little by little. Don't go all the way to the point of pain. Go slowly. If you're a young person, now is the moment to really challenge your feet and ankles to create this capacity of sensing. So the feet are like eyes. The feet see the terrain and they adapt to that terrain. So it's very important that we practice that. So barefoot walking, yes. Number 2, choose very appropriate shoes. Shoes that allow your toes to spread. So if you are wearing shoes that keep your feet like this, tight, that's not good for the anatomy of your feet and for the well-being of, as I said, the rest of the structure of your body. So choose shoes that allow your feet to spread the toes and also that are very flexible, very mobile. So if you can grab the sole of that shoe and wrap it around in itself, that is good. A tight, boxy shoe does not allow mobility of the feet. It's like you're wearing a brace, like as if you had broken your foot and you need a cast. So don't cast your feet in a dark box. Let it be mobile. Now, this is, of course, if you have any medical condition that requires you to wear that kind of shoes that are tight and immobilize your foot, by all means, follow the recommendations of your doctor. My recommendations are for people who have healthy feet with no medical conditions that require like orthopedic shoes or anything like that. And what is the third recommendation? So walking barefoot, choosing appropriate shoes. And I would say the third recommendation is to get out and move, like get on your feet, get off that couch, get off the bed, and go out, go hiking, go on a light jog, go walking, use your feet. Go dancing. Dancing is amazing for the feet. And yes, wear comfortable shoes for dancing. Otherwise, you'll get blisters. All right, so those are 3 health recommendations for feet. I would include also massaging. In the previous foot and ankle mobility class, we did self-care with massaging and oil. So that's also a very lovely recommendation. Give your feet some love because they are the ones who take you everywhere. So don't hide them away and be ashamed of your feet. I don't know why people are ashamed of showing their feet. Come on, get over it. Feet are beautiful. They're awesome. Put them out there. Okay, so let's get started. Let's come to our mat and we'll start with some mobility exercises, and then we'll focus on a little bit of myofascial release and strengthening. So let's come to standing. There's my mat. Okay. Alrighty. Great. So let's just start wiggling our feet around a little bit. So I'm going side to side and creating a full circle with my ankle, spreading also the toes. So first I'm circling out. And now circle inwardly. Switching from side to side. You might find that there's already noticeable differences from one side to the other. Great. All right, now keeping our feet on the floor. So let's do some more like bigger movements at first. Okay, so we'll actually get our cardio in a moment, but let's do another exercise that I really like to mobilize our toes and our ankle. So we'll start standing on our left leg and take the right foot back and press gently the top of the toes down into the floor. So I'm not leaning a lot of weight here. Most of my weight is on the left leg. And on the right side, I'm just gently pressing down. And I feel a stretch all the way from the toes, the top of the foot, the front of the shin, the front of the thigh, all the way to the front of my hip and even to my chest. So a little added bonus is open the arms and spread your wings and take a moment to also open up the heart. And release. Let's go to the other side. So now standing on the right. We're a little bit dark here. Let's see if we can add some light. Good, much better. Okay. So taking the left foot back, finding that connection of the top of the toes into the floor, and then pressing gently to find that full extension all the way up the front of the body and even up the front of the throat, out through the wings, spread the arms, open the fingers, opening up the whole front of the body. And release. So we'll go back to the right leg back, the right foot back. And you can have your hands on your hips, or you can support yourself by bringing your hand to the window or to the wall. Taking the right foot back and create circles with the foot. So I'm creating circles in the ankle and the foot. So I'm taking the toes over and under, gently pressing into the floor, and then change direction. Circle in the other direction. And now the other side. So left foot back. Bringing most of your weight to the right leg and circle. And I'm counting about 10 reps here. Change direction. All right. How are those toes feeling? Okay. All right. So now we'll do a little bit of jumping, and this is to warm up our feet and our ankles. So first, just rocking without jumping yet. So rocking from heel to ball of the foot. Rocking back onto the heel and then forward, ball of the foot coming up. I'll show it sideways. Back and forth. And when you lift the toes, spread them. Come up onto ball of the foot. When you come up onto the ball of the foot, keep those toes spread. All right, and now let's hold up on your tippy toes. Spread the toes. Spread them before you come up. And now up on the tippy toes. Remember, you can support yourself, bringing a hand to the wall. Up, 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 hold, hold, hold. And down. Turn the toes out. So like making a V shape with your feet. And come up onto the toes like a ballerina. And down. And let's repeat 5 times. Hold up a couple of seconds and down. Hold up and down. Squeeze your glutes, bring your belly in, keeping your center of gravity. One more. Great. Shake it out. Release that. Okay, and a little bit of jumping to get your feet and ankles warmed up. If you don't want to jump, you can do it. You can also just do it slowly as a step. So if you're doing it as a step, you can step side to side like this. And if we're doing jumping, we're crossing in front. Alternating one leg, then the other in front. Crossing. Bonus to add the movement of the arms. And 2 more. And whew. All right. Shake it out, circle it up. Okay. And now a little bit more ballerina action. So now we'll turn our foot, heel in, toes out, and then bring the other one. Heel in, toes out. And we'll walk, heel in, toes out, step it out, step it in, heels in, toes out. And again, depending on your level of mobility. And I'm just going to bring this down. And I'll show it again. Point the toe out to the side, and then heel in, toes out. Step it out, heel in, toes out. And it's okay to bend the knees as much as you need to be able to make that step. Of course, this also requires hip mobility, external hip rotation. I'm going to move this out to the side. But you'll do it only to where your body allows. And now going back, very slow. And with a lot of awareness. So this is not something that we rush through. We can slow down and take our time to really feel through the movements. All right. Great. I kind of like this angle for this foot mobility class. We're going to keep it low like that. All right. Come to your mat. Bring your feet together. Spread the toes. And I really mean spread the toes. So lift the toes, bring the big toe down, and then fan the other toes down. So there should be a little bit of space between each toe. And if that's not happening for you, you can come down and with your hands physically separate the toes. All right, let's come down to a little squat. Take the hips back, chest open. Lean onto the left foot and slide the right toes forward and draw a big circle all the way around until you go all the way behind and draw it back forward. Your standing leg might be shaking as it adjusts to the movements. That's good. Let's go 3 more times, all the way around, all the way around. Reach, reach, reach as far as you can across behind. 2 more. It's okay if you have to put your foot down at some point for your balance. And remember, you can have your hand on the wall or a ledge, a chair, to help you with the balance. Okay, back to the front. And this time, take the leg all the way across, all the way across. Flex the foot and press the pinky side of your right foot into the floor. Spread the toes. Inhale, reach the arms up. And hold your wrist, your right wrist, and pull it over. So you get a nice stretch all the way from the pinky side of your right foot all the way up the right side body. And release, shake it up. Whew. And we'll go to the other side. So again, standing, feet together, spread the toes, manually separate them if they're not doing it on their own, and squat down, hips back, belly in, chest open. Now take your weight onto the right foot and take the left toes forward and circle all the way around and back. All the way around across and back. 3 more. It's okay to set your foot down if you need to at any point to help you with your balance, or hand on the wall, whatever works best. And this time, take the leg all the way across, flex the foot, spread the toes, lean onto the pinky side of the foot, and reach up. Take the left wrist and pull it over. Big stretch of the left side, all the way from the foot up to the wrist. Release. Come back, shake it out. Whew. Okay. And a little bit more ballerina action. And remember, hand on the wall if you need extra support for your balance. So this time we'll stand with the feet as wide as the hips, or the heels as wide as the hips, toes pointing out. You can have hands at the hips or on the wall. And bend the knees, letting the knees go out, back up, and up on your tippy toes. Heels down, bend, up, tippy toes. Now let's do 5 more. Last one. Good. And now take the feet even a little bit wider. So when you come down to bend the knees, your shins are more or less vertical down to the floor. Come up and up on the tippy toes. Down, squat, up, tippy toes. And 5 more. You're going to feel this in your calves, which is good. Strengthening the calves are important for our foot and ankle health and mobility. Last one, come into your squat. And now keeping the knees bent about 90 degrees, toes pointing out, Come up onto the tippy toes, heels up. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Turn the toes forward and fold forward just to stretch it out. Shake out your head. Shake out your spine, your hips. And slowly roll up. All right. And now challenging our balance on one foot. This one will be awesome and fun. And remember that you can have your hand on the wall if you need extra support. Okay, so let's start spreading the toes. Lift the big toe, bring it down, and then fan the little toes out and down. So it's like you're gluing your feet into the floor like gecko toes. All right, and let's come onto the left leg and slowly bring your right foot. So turn, open the knee out, external rotation. Coming onto your toes and bring your ankle, your right heel to your left ankle. And feel here, if you have enough balance, to bring the foot up to the calf. At any point, if it's too much for your balance, bring your hand to the wall. Skip the knee, and I'll bring the foot up into your thigh. Good. Belly in, strong in your core, and open your arms out like tree branches. And slowly wave your branches side to side. You'll definitely feel that in your ankle and how your foot and ankle need to adjust to the change and the movement up here. And slowly bring it out and release, shake it up. All right, second side. Feet together, spread the toes, lift them. Bring down the big toe first, and then fan out the rest of the toes and plug them in. And let's turn the left foot out to the side. Going step by step. So first, keeping the toes on the floor, then bringing the foot up to your calf. We skip the knee. The knee doesn't like to feel pressure or any sort of side-to-side movement. It only wants to go back and forth. And then bringing the foot all the way up to your thigh. And remember, you can hold onto the wall as needed. Raise your arms, spread your tree branches, and slowly waving side to side. It's definitely going to challenge your balance. Go slow. Should be feeling it in the ankle and the foot and even on the calf as it adjusts. If you lose it for a moment, that's okay. Let's go back. And challenge ourselves for 5 more seconds. And release and shake it up. Whew. Feels different. Feels challenged. All right. And we'll go now to use our brick who's watching. Okay, so remember, it's a brick or a thick book. It can also be a staircase. And I am going to bring, actually I'm going to show it first, full body. Let's keep it full body because we'll want to have a little bit of action in our upper body as well. So I really, I like this exercise. It's very important for the ankle flexibility to flex. This is flex and this is extend the ankle. It's a very good exercise for our flex and extend strength of the ankle and mobility. So we'll bring the ball of the foot to the block and keep the heel down on the floor. Now make sure that you're on a surface that's not going to slide. So I'm on a yoga mat, the brick is on a yoga mat, and that keeps it very stable. So make sure that you're not going to slip off. It's very important. Okay. And take the other foot back, so you're kind of in a short lunge position. And bend the left knee and extend. Now observe when you bend the knee that it is still tracking in line with your toes. So if you bend the knee and it kind of collapses inward, and I'll show it this way. So if you bend and the knee kind of collapses inward, and you can see that from up here, then you've gone beyond the range of possibility for your ankle. So you don't want to go there. So you want to keep it in line, and you want to keep it in the range of motion that still maintains proper alignment. So if you go out of proper alignment, you are training yourself to be in proper alignment. So don't do that. Don't force yourself to try to achieve a certain form without proper alignment. You are doing yourself a disservice. So stay in alignment and let the challenge happen in the direction of proper alignment. And I also like that the back foot is also getting an opportunity to flex deeply. So back foot is not forgotten. The toes are spreading and the foot is in full contact with the floor. And now we will keep the front leg extended, left leg, and we'll use the back foot to propel us forward. So push, coming up onto the tippy toes of the back foot. Push. And as you push forward, add a little chest opening, spreading of the wings, just because. Can't forget the rest of the body. And let's do 2 more. And release. Shake it out. And we'll go to the other side. All right. Right foot forward, left foot back. Spread the toes in the back foot. And start bending and extending the front knee, keeping our alignment. So you should look down and the knee should be tracking right over the toes without collapsing in or out. Two more. And now keeping the right leg, the front leg static, and using the back foot to propel forward, pressing the ball of the foot down to lift the heel with strength and open, spread the wings, open the heart. Little bonus here. And 2 more. And release. All right, shake it out. We can leave the block off to the side. All right. Now for this one, it'll be good to have a little bit of padding for your knees. I am going to bring a blanket. I seem to have lost my blanket, so I am going to grab a pillow. Okay, so a pillow works just as fine, or a rolled up blanket or a towel. Okay, a few things here. We're gonna come into squatting. So first, what we'll do, and I just squatted without even thinking about it. So first, let's bring our feet parallel to each other. Spread the toes as I just told you how. So lift all toes, spread them out. Bring down the big toe first and then fan out the rest of the toes. Make sure that your heels are in line, so feet parallel, and slowly reach the hands forward as a form of counterbalance. Your hands can also be on the wall. Hinge the hips back and slowly start to lower down, and notice at which point your heels want to come off the floor. So I have a lot of flexibility, so my feet, I can come down to a full squat without my heels coming up. But if you are here, you are coming down and you're like, oh, heels start to come up. So then notice where that is. We will use the edge of our mat, or you can use another blanket or towel and bring your heels on that point. Spread the toes, same as before, and repeat. And see if now you can come all the way down to your full squat while still maintaining some pressure, some weight on the heels. So now your heels are a little bit lifted. You have a little bit of a high heel. And if you're still on your toes, then you'll come up and roll the mat a little bit higher until you can really feel that you have weight coming down into the heels. All right, and then we have this pillow here. So again, if you need more support, hands on the wall or a chair, or on the floor, or not at all, slowly bring the knees forward and onto the pillow. So you come into a kneeling position and the toes are still connected to the floor. Slowly sit back. You can push yourself off, return to the heels, and slowly come up, keeping a little counterweight with the hands forward and hinging the hips back. And we'll repeat that nice and slow with control, paying attention to the connection of the feet to the floor, down, forward onto the toes, up to kneeling, toes still connected to the floor, slowly shifting the weight back and coming up to standing. If this is still very challenging for you, bring a chair in front so that you can hold on to the chair as you do this full movement. My mat just rolled out, that's okay, because I don't need it. I can bring my heels down here and then come up. So let's repeat this 5 times, nice and slow. Lots of awareness of the alignment. Don't let the knees knock in or out. That's 1. Two. 3. 4. 5. All right. And now turn the toes out and come into a deep squat with the knees out in line with the toes, and press the knees out with the elbows. Take a few deep breaths here, letting your body weight sink in. Now again, if the heels are up here, roll the mat, bring the heels onto the mat. Okay, and now shift side to side so the hands can come to the floor for extra support. Your hands can also be on that chair, or no hands at all. Just going side to side. I'm leaning here a little bit on my knees. Lifting the toes a little bit, putting them back down, just feeling, sensing, and challenging your ankles and your feet. Now you can bring your hands down to the floor. If this is already challenging for you, just stay here side to side. If you want to take it a little bit further, we're going to go in a full circle, walking around. And now to the other side. All right, well done. Come up, turn your heels out, fold in, hips up, shake out your head, a little forward fold to stretch it out. And come up to standing. All right, myofascial work with the ball. This is one of my favorite things to do. And remember, you can do this during your day. If you work at a desk, you can keep a ball nearby and play with the ball using your foot as you're working in the desk. And how do you have to do it? There's many ways, and honestly, they're all good. So you want to roll back and forth on the longwise on the arch of the foot, and you want to find every possible angle, also up high on the inside of the arch. And I'm going to come a little bit closer to show this, and I'm even going to show it sitting on the edge of the bed. So you can be standing and working the ball, or you can be sitting. So you want to go lengthwise, back and forth, nice and fast, nice and fast. The inside of the arch, that feels particularly interesting, and all the way on the pinky edge as well. And you can also leave the heel down and roll side to side, ball of the foot, side to side. on the arch. Now if you're sitting, there's less pressure, so this works really well for someone who has a lot of sensibility on the foot and are starting to gain that capacity to feel through the feet. You don't want to do it too hard at first. Okay, so that's seated. You can choose if you want to be seated or standing. I'm going to come back to standing to show same idea, but here standing I can press a little bit harder, a little bit more weight down into the foot. So we're going lengthwise. Feels good on the arch, on the inner arch, a little bit higher on the inner arch, feels good. There's some interesting places there. Actually, I'm going to come a little bit closer so you see it better. Explore, press down and feel. And if you find something in particular that feels interesting, you can spend a little bit more time there. This doggy ball works really well because it's squishy, but it has enough firmness. So I can press down, I can really step down into it. I'm actually putting more body weight here, and it feels good. It's challenging in a good way. All right, next is to go side to side, keeping the heel down and side to side. And maybe pressing in a little bit if it feels good. Letting your toes kind of curl over. All right. Yeah, let's come down to seated. I'm gonna bring this mat closer. Okay. And we'll do a little self-massage here. So sit down with one leg extended and the other leg bent in front. And if your knee is like way up here, what we can do is bring a pillow under to support and bring your thumbs to the arch of your foot and rock your weight back and forth and press down into the arch of the foot. Try to keep the arms straight so that the action comes from the body weight coming forward as you lean forward. You can also use the heel of the hand, one hand on the arch, the other one on the ankle, and just exploring different places of the foot, using body weight to rock back and forth. And we'll also come up into the calf. So now using the heel of the hands in the space just behind the shin bone, pressing down. You'll find different interesting places here that might be quite tender. So go slow. Now here you can also use your thumbs up and down that space behind the shin bone. Go slow. And yet another tool is you can bring your whole forearm to that space behind the shin bone and just hold here for a little bit. So what's really pressing is this part of, not the pointy, sharp part of the elbow, but the first part of the forearm just below the elbow, and leaning in. And hold there for a few breaths and then move on to another spot. And the other hand is leaning in to add a little bit more pressure. Remember, it's quite a tender spot, so take it easy, full breaths, and moving slow is really important. All right, let's go to the other side. Taking now the other knee in, supporting it as needed, and massaging the arch of the left foot with the thumbs, and rocking back and forth. Now using the heel of the hand into the foot, the ankle, and the heel. And now going up the calf with the heel of the hand. This part right in that space behind the shin bone. You can use your thumbs. Slowly, being mindful of the tender spots. And now using this first section of your forearm to lean in and take some big breaths here. Do a few passes up and down. If there's any particular spot that's interesting, you might want to hold there for a few breaths. Bring your feet together, knees apart, and open them up like a book. Massaging both arches with your thumbs as you open up the feet as a book. And a little love here. If you have lotion or oil that you want to apply to your feet and your shins, go ahead and do that to wrap it up with a nice bow, because this is the last mobility class of this year. And next year we will remove one of my weekly classes, so I am taking a poll to see which ones are the favorite yoga classes, So if mobility is one of your favorite classes, please let me know, because if it wins, then we won't remove it. So please, please, please write and let me know which classes are your favorites, so that we know which ones to keep. And with that, I say thank you and goodbye. Have a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year's, whatever it is that you celebrate. Happy winter solstice. Enjoy, take care, keep moving, and I'll see you next year, 2021. Ciao, ciao.